I have interesting news for you. I ran 2 tests on the artifacts. The first test was to determine if either of them was paramagnetic. Neither of them were. Essentially what we do when we're looking for evidence of magnetism is to hold a permanent magnet up against a piece of metal and see if there's any attraction exhibited. Since neither were magnetic, and that's not really an interesting result, let me tell you what was really exciting, and that was that all of the magnets we used to conduct this test, all of the permanent magnets, were demagnetized by the artifacts. I have no explanation for this at all. Normally there are three common methods to demagnetize a permanent magnet. First is to heat the metal above its Curie point. But that didn't happen here. All the tests were conducted at room temperature. The second is to apply blunt force to the magnet. We didn't do that either, obviously. The third method is to subject the sample to a stronger magnetic field. And I didn't do that either. So the question is, why were the artifacts able to demagnetize the permanent magnets? We used over 100 separate permanent magnets for the test. I repeated this over and over and over again, and same results, demagnetized. And, even more interesting, none of the permanent magnets that had been demagnetized could be remagnetized. Figured that one out because I can't. Second test shed some more light on the nature of these artifacts. What we did was, or what I did rather, was to submit both artifacts to a test that's called EDS, which is essentially a test where we subject the sample to a focused high energy beam, electron beam, and subsequently that sample will emit backwards to us X-rays. That's why the acronym itself means energy dispersive X-ray spectroscopy. So what we're measuring after we bombard this with a high energy beam, we're looking for the number and strength of the X-rays that come back at us. And in no case did either of the artifacts, when we tested them with EDS, ever produce any X-rays for us to analyze. What seemed to happen was that they absorbed the energy, every bit of it. And again, this test we repeated over and over again. So they were able to strip away the magnetism of permanent fixed magnets and absorb any amount of focused high energy electron beams that we subjected them to. So this leads me to ask you, Mr. Moore, to send me a letter before we proceed with further testing. I need to know that with a written letter from you, signed, that neither of these 2 artifacts was taken from a government agency or research facility and/or a private high-tech firm. I need to know that there's no one going to come looking for these samples, and that neither myself nor my company will in any way be in trouble for what we're doing. So I'll wait to get back to you when I've got that contract in my hands, okay, or when that representation in my hands. Until then.